Slide the new water pump up, get it in place. Start your bolts and bolt it down. Get your water pump all bolted back up. Then you're ready for the idler pulleys to go back on. This one pulley, if you look at it, you can see that when you turn it, there is a right and a wrong way. If you turn it over, the front almost looks like the back, but it does go on in this fashion right here. Now the idler pulleys do go in a fixed position. Once you get them locked down in place, you tighten them down. They're not like adjusters. They just go in a fixed position. Now it's time to put the belt on. Kind of get it in place and then lock it down on the cams. Now remember, your cam gears lined up, the timing mark on the gears lined up to the timing mark on the backing plate. Put your belt around it and then use a plastic tie strap to tie that belt to the cam gear so that it won't move. That way that belt is not going to move from that tooth on the cam. Then you go around the water pump. You line your timing marks up on the front cam. Put a plastic tie strap around the front cam. So your teeth on the back cam and the front cam are locked to the timing belt and can't move, can't get out of time. Now when you do it this way, you've got the back cam and the front cam both on their timing marks and they're locked on the belt, so they are locked in place. Now we just need to go down and put the lower part of the belt on. Okay, now we're down at the bottom. We've got the timing belt. Gonna lace it around the teeth. Now if you notice over here, the right side, we're going to make that the tight side because there's no tensioner in there. Your left side will go up and the tensioner will take up the slack. So make sure there is no slack on that right side or the tension side of the belt. Once you get the belt tight on that right side, take a tie strap. Once you get the right side of that timing belt tight, you drop it down, hook it on the teeth, and your crank, you can see your timing marks are right at each other. Lace the belt up, take a tie strap and just lace the belt together. That will keep the belt from moving from the teeth. Now it's pretty tight quarters in here getting the tensioner in, but you need to get the new tensioner in place. Once we get it mounted, then I'll pull our hands out and you can see it. It's such tight quarters in here for the tensioner, we can't get our hands, the bolts, the wrenches and everything in there. But you can see where it's in place. We got the bolts started. Don't pull your pin out yet. Tighten it down. Tighten it down as tight as you can get it. Now you can take a pair of wire cutters and cut that plastic tie strap. And then the next thing to do is pull the pin on the hydraulic tensioner. Pull the pin out of the tensioner. When you pull the pin out of the tensioner, it will let that plunger come out and put tension on the hydraulic tension pulley. That then will keep tension on the left side of your belt. You already had the tension on the right side. Now, of course, always double check your work. Make sure your timing marks are still on. Slide your belt guide back over the crank pulley. Before you put the lower timing cover on, you need to go up to the top and put the bracket that the motor mount bolts to on first. Then come back down and put the lower timing cover on. Now come back to the top side and put your bracket that the motor mount goes into back in. Tighten it down. Use your wire cutters and cut the top straps off. After your lower cover's back on, you can put your harmonic balancer back on and drive the bolt in. After you get the harmonic balancer on, you can get the belt up in place. Serpentine belt ready to put back on. Of course, we've already put back the tensioner as well. Then you have to put your upper two timing covers on, both the left and the right. Mount your power steering pump back on. Put the motor mount and bracket back in. Put your final touches on by putting the covers back on. Now it's time to fire it up. Starts and runs smooth.